I think we're live. Turn that volume down. We on the couch. We rolling. All right. Opening week kickoff. Bills, Rams. Clearly biased for the Bills, but I will say the Rams, it's not like they really went anywhere talent-wise, I guess. They lost Van Jefferson, which to me makes Allen Robinson. I mean, they didn't lose him for like the season, but they used him for like the next couple games here. So with that said, I feel like Allen Robinson's stock's gonna drop, raise. That's where we are with them. This is my set lineup. So with that said, I don't plan on changing it right now. The only guy I was possibly going to put in is Gabe Davis or Pierce into that flex spot, but I did take Gibson because they're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville's not terrible. They had the number one pick. They had the big freak of nature. I feel like they always get a good end linebacker, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call it, whatever their scheme is at the time. But when they get the number one overall pick, since they have for so long, or like the top three, clearly they took their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, generational talent, build around him. Now they're getting back to the defense, which is kind of, I feel like, where they've been for so long. When they had Blake Bortles and doing those types of things with him. And then they fell off. So, of course, they went and got that quarterback. Now, with that said, I still think Jacksonville's Jacksonville. It's not in Jacksonville. If this game was in Jacksonville, I would not have put Gibson in here. It would definitely be Pierce or Gabe Davis, possibly Robert Woods. He's supposed to maybe be their number one, so I could look at this lineup right here on my fantasy end and change it. It might change, might not, probably won't. Again, that's why I just locked in this flex spot. There's only a couple guys I'm willing to put in over Gibson, but I'd like to have a three-headed running back committee, type of game on my end. Usually that's what works, but it's become a pass-first offense. The leagues this year are a little goofy. Anyways, this is the lineup I'm rocking with in one league. In this next league, I will take this one. I'm pretty much set on here. I got Chubb, Henry, Rodgers going, Keenan Allen. Marquise Brown, I think, is going to be a top wide receiver in the league for the first 3 or 4 weeks. I do think his value drops a lot when D-Hop comes back. But I also think that I think Arizona's going to be airing out the ball a lot. I think a lot of the teams are going to be airing out the ball a lot. We'll get into some little bets here in a minute. But I got Elijah Mitchell going on there. There's supposedly no George Kittle at the moment. He hasn't practiced for 3 days in a row. Tomorrow's Friday. Usually if they don't practice on the Friday, Thursday, and or Friday, they don't play on Sunday, or they're game time decision, which is too big of a risk. And even if Kittle is playing, I feel like he's a mirage for Trey Lance. They're probably trying to prepare without him right now. So having him is going to be an upside. The Bears are going to be atrocious. I'm sure they'll figure out ways to just pummel them. But anyways, Kyle Pitts was a keeper for me. Got him in the 7th round. It was him or Michael Pittman Jr. I like Michael Pittman Jr., but they got that Pierce kid, Pascal. They got a Jonathan Taylor. It's a run-heavy offense. So I didn't love keeping Michael Pittman. I know it was the 11th round, and he's arguably a top 15 wide receiver. So he was going to go within the first 3-4 rounds, 2 to 4 rounds, I should say. Not the first round, definitely not. But he could have went in the 2nd round. Someone could have reached on him, but definitely going by the 3rd. So clearly there was a lot of value in there. But to me, Kyle Pitts, you got Kittle, Andrews, Kelsey. Those guys are kind of on their way out, in my opinion. I know they still got a lot of gas in the tank, but it's kind of like that last season or two for Tony G or Antonio Gates, which guy was running for forever. But my point is, I felt like Kyle Pitts would have went in the 3rd or 4th round regardless, and I had him in the 7th. And tight ends are dime a dozen, so I don't want to stream a tight end all the time. With that said, I kept Kyle Pitts. Clearly, here we are with the rest of my team. I got Chris Godwin pretty late. I'm happy about that. I know he's coming off the torn ACL. But with my wide receiver core here where it was, with Allen being my number one wide receiver picked, then I took Brown. I hated taking Brown, I'm not going to lie. But I was able to snag these young guys right here, and Godwin and Landry. Garrett Wilson might take over as the number one over Elijah Moore. I hope so. I mean, that was my thinking when I took him. Landry, PPR target. I mean, he's one of the best PPR magnet players for the past 4 years. He no longer has Baker, but he does have a guy that was throwing 50 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. I don't care about what Jameis Winston does, turning the ball over, as long as he gets the ball to Jarvis Landry, and Landry has between 5 and 10 targets a game. That's what you can ask for. I took Mozart. I don't know what that running back committee is going to be like in Miami. Mosert's always been a fucking great play. Sky Moore, that I kind of went on a limb there late, thinking that if Scantling and or Juju aren't those number one guys, then Sky Moore will come in and do exactly what they hoped when they drafted him. James Cook, safety bet. I wanted James Cook. James is cat. No, I wanted James Cook in all my leagues. I was happy as hell when they drafted him. I've said that many times before. But I was able to get him. I don't love Singletary. I liked Moss better. I really did like Zach Moss better. Apparently, Singletary was the better one. Or they're bouncing them back and forth. They both have handling issues. Singletary's very fast. He can't block, though. James Cook is kind of like both of them, but he's not a good blocking running back. So that's the negative input on James Cook. He's young. I just felt like it was a great pick I think I got him in the 13th round or something like that. So that's another one that's kind of like a keeper play for later, possibly. But that's also some value in those young players that I drafted really late. If I need a number one wide receiver, I can trade to somebody that's kind of like fighting for that 6th playoff spot. And they have, someone extra. They need another running back. They need a handcuff. They need this or that. And it has a good value in a keeper because he would keep it in my spot. My other league, I didn't love this draft. I didn't prepare as well for this draft. We went from 10 guys. We added 2 guys. I was used to 10-man, just a 10-man league. Fucked up. I do like my Javonte Williams, Eckler. I took them 1-2. Justin Jefferson was my keeper from the 14th round. I drafted him as a rookie there. So I've had him for 3 years. It's my last year with him. I'd really like to get in the playoffs and win here with him. Brandon Cooks, big fan of him. I think that Brandon Cooks has another great year. I'm a big fan of Davis Mills, as you've heard. Allen Robinson, though, I put him in. I actually am going to do this right now because I want to keep Brandon Cooks to possibly be replaced. I have Allen Robinson I want to play no matter what. The other one is Jerry Jeudy that I was probably going to put in there with Cooks, but I don't know how Russ is going to use these 2 wide receivers. He also has a pretty good tight end. I think Russ sucks. That's just me. But I have Alec Pierce down here, and I have Gallup that I took Gallup late, thinking that if Cooks isn't panning out, Gallup is the number 2 there. You got CeeDee Lamb clearly, so he could have been a number 1, but CeeDee Lamb took that spot, and CeeDee Lamb deserves it. But they are a pass-heavy offense with the struggles of Zeke, so I'm very confident that Gallup could be a solid streaming wide receiver every week. Alec Pierce, I'm interested to see what he looks like. Pickens I grabbed really late because I think he will emerge as the number 1, but I think it's going to be after a couple of games once Mitch gets under center and starts figuring out things, as long as he does well. I like Deontay Johnson. I just feel like he has hammy injuries and stuff like that, and he's a deep threat ball kind of guy. I don't know what their plans are with Mitch. That's why I hated drafting any Steelers players outside of Najee Harris. But their line is kind of shitty too. So Najee Harris to me was one of those he's a must grab as a running back. He's a must start, but he's also like he's gonna have issues with that line. Dobbs, I hope that him and Aaron Rodgers pan out. A lot of people like him. I could put him in Minnesota. Minnesota, I think, is fucking dog shit. It's Aaron Rodgers. That's my point. That's all I got to say. So, anyways, outside of all that, we had some new NFL news here. Yeah, I got the game streaming. I'm not worried about fantasy now. See, there's Kittle. Nice little signing for that center there in New Orleans. McCaffrey's hurt again. Shin, he took a cleat. I don't know if it was metal. They didn't say what type of cleat injury it is, but he took a cleat to the shin in practice. The Broncos are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks, and they're probably going to beat the shit out of them if I'm being honest, but I just don't love the Broncos. Injuries, here you go. Rondell Moore, I'm a fan of him too. He's constantly got a lingering injury. I don't know how these guys get to training camp and still have injuries from like a year ago. What the fuck are they doing? Zach Ertz did not practice on Thursday after being limited. We knew that. Watt, Mullen, Drake London limited. A lot of people are taking him. They're high on him. A lot of my leagues are keepers. Actually, 2 of the 3 are. So people were trying to take Drake London between like the 10th and 13th pick. Try and keep him for a keeper possibly for next year. He should be their number 1. J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins injuries. It's just kind of annoying. Zach Wilson's out till week 4. I don't know why they thought Zach Wilson was going to come back after what happened in 2 weeks. To me, it would have been stupid for fucking the Jets to even allow him to come back. There's been multiple times where I've played a sport injured after saying, yes, I'm fine. Concussions when you're a kid playing football. No, I just want to play with my friend. I just want to go play football. Had a million concussions. It shows. Had a million of them growing up, playing on the blacktop, etc. Like, Zach Wilson probably was saying, yeah, I'm good. But, like, it might be sore because it's been sore after practice. That's the dumb shit that I don't understand how it even gets by. Luis Robert just got injured again with his fucking wrist. Like, Crandall, like, the White Sox are falling. Every time the White Sox get healthy, they say, oh, I'm fine, I can go play. They end up on the fucking IR 2 or 3 games later. Like, are you fucking people dumb? Sit your ass down. You're irrelevant as it is. You go 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, and then you leave the game after going 1 for 4, maybe, or 1 for 3 with a walk the day before. No RBIs, no runs. You're literally doing nothing but stat padding yourself, and you're hurting the fucking team. Sit your dumb ass down. If you're fucking spending the money, you idiot athletes, stop being fucking dumb. God damn. I don't understand. It's kind of frustrating that these athletes can just kind of manipulate the way their team will handle things. Which, again, I've been in their shoes, not getting paid to do it, but having fun with your friends and just wanting to go out and play. But again, you got to, like, I never thought I was going to go to the NFL. Anyways, Elvis Jones, that kid's hurt. Has been hurt, I think, like since last week or 2 weeks ago, since the last preseason game, or he didn't play or log any snaps, whatever the case was. Clowney, he returned. He's probably going to sack Baker a couple times, I'm not going to lie. But I'll get into my Baker bets in a minute. Dak was added. Okay, so Gallup is galloping. 416 Josh Allen fantasy points this season. It's like 33. That's almost like 24 or 26 around there, right? And some change maybe or less. I mean, clearly, but the AFC's stacked. Like, the AFC is going to be dominating for the next couple of years. Talked about this. You just got some more injuries here. No Lazard is probably why Dobbs' shit is popping off. I'm probably going to play him. Lazard's supposed to be the number one. I know Watkins is rumored to be the number one, but I don't know if that guy has stayed healthy ever in his career. The best move for the Bills was to get rid of him when they did. I mean, not too many big injuries. Chase Edmonds, Waddle, these guys are playing. Limited, big deal. Thomas has been limited. He said he's probably going to play. He probably will. Miles Sanders. I'm going to do this real quick. This is my predictions for the Bears. Here we go. You got Bears-Niners. Niners win. Packers are going to win. Texans. I think this game's close, but I'm going to give it to the Bears. I think this game's going to be like 21-17. Bears might win. Like a Montgomery touchdown puts them up late. Down 17-14. That's just what I'm feeling clearly. Fucking guess. Giants. I think they lose to the Giants. In New York, I think they lose to the Giants. The only other reason why is Texans have to come to Buffalo to Chicago. So that's another thing I'm looking at, playing in the dog shit field of Chicago, which it's no better in New York. Vikings-Bears. Vikings win. So let's go. Here we go. 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. Beat the Commanders. Commanders' defense might be the reason why they could win. I could see Carson Wentz getting hurt before this game and then Howell coming in and Howell being good. If that's the case, if Howell's playing, I think the Commanders win. I think just Carson Wentz is fucking hot garbage dog shit. The Bears, Pats win. Bill Belichick ain't gonna let fucking Justin Fields and nobody beat him. That's the way I think. The boys are gonna beat the Bears. Dolphins are gonna beat the Bears. Big on Tua. I like them. People are shitting on him for no fucking reason, just because they believe anything that NFL Network or ESPN will tell them. They don't watch a single fucking snap, but the other guys that only show the bad shit or only show the good shit for teams and players will manipulate the fuck out of people's minds. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that people won't admit either that, like, Vegas and, I mean, even when refs come out and say, like, games are fixed. Like, no shit, dude. Vegas ain't fucking lit up because they're letting people win. Of course there's settings that are going on in the NFL. There's fixes. Why do you think the refs turn their heads one way when it's with Tom Brady doing something illegal, but when it's fucking, I don't know, someone else, whoever you want to say, I would say like Justin Herbert. Even Justin Herbert does something like Tom Brady does, and Tom Brady didn't get a flag thrown on him or something, punches a guy. Herbert will get the flag, get penalized. People just need to stop being naive about it and just accept it. I mean, I'm fine with it. It's entertainment. That's what we're paying for. We're not paying for anything but that. So, anyways, 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, 1-3, 1-4. Possibly 1-5, but probably 2-4. 2-5. 2-6. 2-7. I will give this one to the Bears because they will be on a losing streak at that point. It's the first time they'll see the Lions. So they'll have 3 wins here. Falcons beat them. 3 wins still. They'll beat the Jets. 4 wins. 4 wins because the Packers will beat them again. Eagles will beat the shit out of them. And it'll be cold. Everyone will be like, oh, the fucking this or that, the snow or it's cold. It's like, dude, it's colder, just as cold in Philly. Still won't win. Definitely won't win these 1, 2, 3. They're going to lose the Lions 1 game, I think. Maybe they might take this Vikings game. They might have like 5 wins. I'm thinking over 4.5 wins is possible for sure. I'm thinking 5, 6 max wins, which would maybe be the other Lions game, or like an upset with the Dolphins traveling to Chicago, something like that. But maybe 4, 5 wins for the Bears this year. I'm gonna do the Bills just because why not? Gotta check them out. Gotta rep them out. I want to say they win tonight, Thursday Night Football. I think a lot of people are anticipating a big shootout, by the way. I don't know if that's for sure because a lot of money right now is on like player props for touchdowns. 52.5, I think, is the over. We'll look at that in a minute. But Bills, I could see them beating the Bills as like what should have been the Super Bowl last year. But the Rams are not like, they didn't degress. I mean, they lost Van Jefferson, who was a number 2, 3, 4 wide receiver as it was. You got Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson. Like I said, I think Allen Robinson could be having a huge year with everybody on Cooper Kupp. Allen Robinson's still a number 1 anywhere he would have went. So the fact that he went to a team that didn't need him as a number 1 and he has the ability to be a number 1, they have 2 number 1s right now, which are Robinson, Kupp. Van Jefferson is no schlub either. So the Bills are missing White. The Bills' secondary isn't great. Von Miller get a sack tonight, probably. The Stafford stuff with his arm, not worried. I'd be more worried if Matthew Stafford was healthy for a season. Let's be like, that's just, it's a fucking joke. People will be like, oh yeah. Shut the fuck up. It's a joke, you fucking clowns. Anyways, Bills, Rams. I want to say the Bills win. I could see the Rams beating us. I don't want to bet with my heart, you know. Beating the Titans, for sure. I do think they'll beat the Titans home opener. I think they beat the Dolphins. I think they might lose to the Ravens. I don't know why. But Lamar no longer wants to have contract talks now. So now he's going to go out there and try everything he can to be the best quarterback, running back, whatever, to go get that contract that he's after, to prove himself this year. That is the only reason why I think the Ravens beat the Bills. They end up being 3 wins, 2 losses, 500. AFC is going to be hard. Last year was the Bills' year, in my opinion. Like, with Josh Allen and the team they currently have had, whatever. I know they had Von Miller, etc. The Tre'Davious White injury really hurt them. But after going and beating the shit out of the New England Patriots, I thought the Bills were going to go all the way. And I think they could have beat the Rams. But the NFL narrative was back-to-back years with where the Super Bowl was going to be. The new stadium was at SoFi or whatever. Nobody goes to LA games as it is. No one gives a fuck about football. They care about football, not American football. They couldn't sell tickets. They couldn't get rid of tickets. Stafford's family or whatever had to buy them. Like, that just shows you they were just giving them away because they couldn't fill fucking seats. So they're giving them away. Everybody they could. They didn't have a lot for sale. People weren't buying those $10,000 tickets. If they were probably a celebrity that was going there to party. With all that said, the Super Bowl is a party. We all know that. Getting back to it. Rams, I could see the Bills being 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. I could see them beating the Chiefs in a revenge game this year, like right away. 4-2, I'm gonna say. 5-2 against the Packers. 6-2, 7-2, 8-2, 9-2. 9-3. Pats beat them at home. 9-3. That's that reverse revenge game to me. So 9-3, 10-3, 10-4. Dolphins and the Bills will split, in my opinion, at one point. So it could be either one. Like I said, they're going to beat the Bears. They might lose to the Bengals, and then they'll beat the Pats to end it. So 1 win, 1 loss, 2 win, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, I could see him winning 14 games. That's a stretch. I could see him winning between 12 and 14 games. So probably around. Oh, Bobby Wagner, I forgot, is on the Rams now too. They added that, so that's big. I could see him being like between 12 and 14 wins throughout the season. I'm gonna. So we'll get back to that real quick. Prop bets on here. I'm gonna go with. So here's what I got open. I got an anytime touchdown scorer or Dawson Knox tonight. I got a few bucks in here. I had like $10, so I just try to break it down as many as I can. Did a couple parlays, try and win as much as I can with the $10. I'm probably gonna delete the app. I don't want to fall in the trap like I did last year. I went up like $300 the first 4 weeks of the season, and then the schedule and everything got way harder. The books got harder. That's the thing they always want, pretty much, you to be able to feel comfortable the first couple weeks. You're winning. Overs are going. Teams are figuring each other out. Defenses are still learning how to play together from, all first string, from practice, blah, blah, blah. With all that said, I fell into that trap last year and lost like $500-600 after going up to almost 400. So I don't want to do that again. Luckily, they had those no-brainers still going on last year, and I hit a couple bets against the White Sox to get smoked a couple times, and those parlays were like $5 to win 90. So those helped me bounce back. Then I deleted the app. Then I reinstalled the app. Then I went to college football. Then LSU just got blocked on that last kick. I needed the over for a parlay to hit. Fucking dickhead blocked it, of course. So anyways, I did like this one that I put together in the same game. It's the Panthers to win. It's the over of 13.5 total points for the Panthers, and Baker Mayfield to have over 220 passing yards. With that said, it's plus 306. I like that same game parlay. It had a 20% profit boost as well if you did the same game parlay. So that is where I put it because I strictly believe Baker will have a absurdly good game against his former team. That's it. That's the only hunch. I don't think the Panthers are going to be amazing. I think they could be really good with Baker. I like Baker. I think he's a good quarterback. I think with two bum shoulders and no offensive line, you've seen what happened to Mitchell Trubisky, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, Justin Fields. Like, it's just, you've seen what happened to Joe Burrow. Before he went to, even at the Super Bowl, he got destroyed. No offensive line, no protection, no way to play quarterback, no way for your wide receivers to get a second to get open. Those are the things that these teams, to me, just don't focus on, essentially. Even with the Cardinals, the Cardinals figure, why don't we just have the fastest quarterback and not spend all the money in the world on a line? But he can't throw on the run his whole life. Matthew Stafford did that. He was fucking broken. Anyways. So that's one of them I got in there. The other one is the Colts over. It's 46, Colts Texans. I also got the Panthers on the money line in that. I'm riding the Panthers heavy this week. And then I got the Ravens in that parlay as well to beat the Jets on the line. That's a nice little parlay at 360, plus 360, so I like that one a lot. That's pretty much my biggest. I don't fucking know. I have the over 52.5. I had that with the Clemson Georgia Tech over, which pushed. It was 50. It was 50.5. And when the odds changed, it went to 51. I was like, you need 51 to win the other one. Why? And it pushed. So with that said, now I just need the over tonight. Before the season started, someone, Big Z, hit me up and said, take Hendon Hooker. He's going to win the Heisman this year. So he told me, you'll know who he is tonight, blah, 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 type of thing, right? Anyways, long story short, I was like, you know what, I'll go on a hunch. He's a big fan. He's in Tennessee. All that kind of shit. So I took him to win the Heisman, plus 4,000. The kid came out and dominated his first game. Love it. I took George Pickens, like I said before, to have Offensive Rookie of the Year, most receiving yards. Most regular rookie season receiving yards. Buffalo Bills and the Niners. I literally just took that because I was like, I'm gonna bet my heart on this and be biased. And I had those DK crowns. It was like $3.60 worth of crowns. So I put like those each prop bets out that are all like plus 4,000. So it's literally $1 to win $36. And then I put like the $2 on the George Pickens to win like 32. And then I took the other George Pickens one with the last couple bucks that was $60 to win. So $2 to win 60, $2 to win 64 or 32, and then $1 to win 36. The other $1, those are all just fun ones. I took Jameis Winston, like you guys know, to have the most passing yards this year. Of course, he rolled his ankle the next week, and then the Cardinals, I took to win the World Series the beginning of the year at plus 4,500, and that one's looking kind of decent. And Luis Robert to win MVP, Vidal Brujan, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to jump right now right into this NFL. A couple of picks that I like. I don't even bet anymore because I got smoked so much, and you could win 5, but you're probably going to lose 20. Fact is Vegas is Vegas. Wouldn't touch the Bills. The Rams are not favorites either, so I don't know what that's about. I don't like the way that books have that either. I really don't want to touch this game. I just want to watch as a fan. Niners, Bears. You know what I said? I'd say the Niners. They are minus 195 though, so I wouldn't even take them to cover. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like them to cover by 7. Maybe the over in that because I think maybe Fields gets a touchdown or two, or the Niners. That's a low. They don't have faith in either young quarterback, it seems, right now. But if Debo's fucking running sweeps and this and that, even without Kittle, I still like the Niners. Kind of like that over only because it's super low. I always like overs when it's less than 45, unless it's like two big defensive teams. But at the same time, I feel like when the books have that, they're tricking people into thinking you're going to get that under because they are two big defensive teams. Like the Colts, for instance. Colts were what a great defense. Usually, a couple games last year, they fucking got blown out. And the unders were like 45. And they gave up 49 points or, 35. So it's like, it's tough, clearly. Otherwise, everyone would be winning. Colts, Texans over. I like that. 45.5. A lot of people are taking that under now, which is why it's dropped a point. Ravens, Jets. Ravens are minus 320 now. I got them at minus 295. They are only supposed to win by a touchdown. I think the Jets defense is pretty fucking good, and no one's really talking about it. And the Ravens defense is always good. Steelers, Bengals, over 44. I like that. Even if Jamar Chase isn't Jamar Chase from last year, he's still a number 1 wide receiver, probably a top 5-10 in the league. And you got T. Higgins on the other side. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying he's just as good. He's tall. He's fast. He comes down with the ball. He's got great hands, great control, and he's strong. Jamar Chase is more of that. Tyreek Hill dropped the ball in his hands. He's gone. So Pittsburgh's got like a game on their hands, and their defense is usually what puts them in the spot to win, especially with previous years of Big Ben's injuries and such. Mason Rudolph, I mean, they were even decent with him behind center, but that was all because of their defense. 44 is that over. Don't love it, don't hate it. It's kind of one of those ones that like I can see happening. I actually I do like it. I don't love it, I like it. 44. Panthers, Browns over, and it's a PK right now. That means people are actually putting a lot of money on the Browns because the Panthers were favorites. They were minus 125. I think it was minus 1.5 to open the week. Now the Browns have evened the line. I don't want to touch that game outside of what I did just because of the Baker thing, and having Christian McCaffrey back made me that much more confident that they'll get over 14 points or 14 or more. It's 13.5. And I think Baker will come out and sling the ball. easy 200 yards plus. So the lowest I could take with a good odds was 219.5, which is why I took it. I don't love Baker to have 300 yards, but I think 220 to 250 is possible. A touchdown or two passed by Baker. I don't like Jacoby Brissett at all. That's just that. Eagles, Lions. The Eagles are -4. That might be the lock of the week. The fucking Lions, I still think are gonna be the Lions. I think they'll have more wins than the Bears, 5, 6 wins. But at the same time, like, it's what it is. I can't believe that they're getting only 4 points. 48.5 is the over. I don't like that over. Saints, Falcons. Saints should win. I don't think Mariota's a good quarterback at all. I don't even know how he's still got a fucking job in the league. I don't. I think that's the worst purchase as a card by far anyone can make as Marcus Mariota. I hope I bite my tongue and I'm wrong, but anyways, moving on from that game, 42.5. I like that. I always like the Saints and the Falcons overs, even if it's Tampa Bay. It's just a fucking weird thing with them. Like my buddies were just talking about Kentucky and Florida always battling it out and keeping games close. So with that said, 42.5 for the Saints, Falcons. I like it. I kind of love it. Jags, Commanders, Redskins, whatever. They're the fucking Redskins. The Jaguars versus the Redskins. The Jags are plus 115. Carson Wentz can somehow win games. The Redskins got Terry McLaurin, Gibson. What's that tight end's name? Logan Thomas, right? Is he still there? Dynamy Brown, I think, and someone, I forget who the other number 2 wide receiver is. I can see Trevor Lawrence winning this game. I kind of want to take the Jags. I might. I did last year when they were in London. I took the Jaguars on the money line, and that hit. That was my nicest win of the weekend, actually. Pats, Dolphins. I don't know. I mean, they got the Dolphins minus 180. The Dolphins win. They're in Miami. People just fucking can't survive for some reason in the Miami heat. It's summer. It's fucking hot. It's humid. It's going to be like 100 degrees. The Pats got to go there and think like, yeah, I like the Dolphins. Opening week, they'll have the Tua Hill stuff going on. New head coach. He's winning, this and that. Actually, I don't know. Look at the statistics if you're going to look at this game between the fact that Bill Belichick, I don't think has ever had a rookie head coach beat him. I could be wrong, but fuck, if that's the case, this could be the end of that. And anyways, I like the Dolphins for the obvious reasons. I hate them for the fact that you're playing Bill Belichick. You're not playing Mac Jones. The Packers, Vikings. Packers minus 120. Aaron Rodgers has made starter wide receivers out of everybody else outside of Devontae Adams. You got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Packers got a decent defense. Vikings have Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, who could have an MVP year again. He could. Delvin Cook. Thielen. But the Vikings defense is atrocious, and you're playing Aaron Rodgers. I love minus 120. I might love that over. Giants, Titans. 210. Giants are plus 210. I think the Titans are going to beat the fuck out of them. And if they don't, and Tannehill's struggling, they might just make the headlines of the next couple weeks on the NFL fucking networks and ESPN. Should Malik Willis start week 2? Minus 250 is a hefty line. I wouldn't touch that at all. As much as I think the Giants are garbage, I wouldn't touch it at all. Like the line. To cover 5.5, if you could cheat it down to 4.5, and still be like minus 120, 130, I might take that instead. Raiders, Chargers. Over is 52.5. I love it. I love any over in that game. It's probably going to be like, to me, I could see it being 42-45 or some crazy fucking score. Devontae Adams' first game is a loss as a Raider in Los Angeles as Justin Herbert throws for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Some shit like headline like that. That's I do like the Chargers to win. By 3.5, I don't know about that. Minus 175 on the line. I don't love that either. I do love the over. Chiefs, Cardinals. My picks are Chiefs -6. Moving on. The over's 54. I like it because it's two high-powered offenses. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Kyler this year. Again, Cliff is a moron. They also only have Brown. There might not be Ertz either. Like, I don't know. James Conner and Marquise Brown are your only players outside of Kyler on offense. No Watt either. So the Chiefs, literally, people aren't paying attention to them because they don't have Tyreek Hill. Still have Travis Kelce, Scantling, Sky Moore, Juju, Allaire, the other running back they took. Like, they're Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. That's my fucking opinion. I don't know. I just -6 might be a lock. Bucks -2.5, 50.5's the over, -140. I might take the Cowboys to open up the week on a win at home against Tom Brady and the Bucks. Just to add all of the drama of Tom Brady. That's just what I think right now. I don't know what the boys look like. I think the boys are fucking overrated. And I liked Zeke and Dak early on, and they're like when they first came onto the scene. I don't know what happened to them. I mean, Zeke hurt, Dak hurt. It's almost like a typical Cowboy story. Spend all the money, get all these people to go to the games. $8 billion franchise, network or assessment on them. They could buy the entire league, but Jerry Jones only likes who he drafts. It's always been that way. Last game of the week, Broncos, Seahawks. -6.5 for the Broncos. I like that. -275 on the line. I don't touch those when they're over 200. I don't like the over of 45. It'd be like a fucking 31-3 game. Broncos just beat the hell out of them. I think they cover. I don't know. Goofiness. That's my week on opening week. So go Bills, and I'll see you guys probably next week. Oh, by the way, Hard Knocks. Way to put Eminem in the show for fucking 10 minutes, you losers.